Ready?
Let's do it.
Woo!
First time out?
Today, yep.
Yeah.
It's a work phone, I don't care.
All right, bikes are heading there down the pit lane for the first race of the afternoon, which is the Nova Drilling Catch22, second race of the weekend. Shout out to the sponsor, Nova Drilling, which provides geotechnical, environmental, and marine infrastructure drilling services throughout the Maritimes and Nunavut. The main type of drilling offered is diamond core, which provides a bedrock core sample for engineering consultants to design foundations and install environmental monitoring wells. Thank you, Nova Drilling, for continuing to help sARL with sponsoring the Catch22 series in 2026. All right, the bikes are now out on the track. Rider on pole position, number 69 of Ryan Hum. Bike in the middle, bike number 60 out of 9 Mile River, Nova Scotia. That is the 60 of Mike Kemp. Making up the front row is the 15 out of Parlesboro, Nova Scotia. Sponsored by Nicole Burr and Asylum Racing. That is Pat Patterson. Second row sees the 88 out of Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia. Sponsored by HBA Chartered Professional Accountants. That is John McRae. Making up the second row is the 295 out of Baddeck, Nova Scotia. Sponsored by Nova Drilling and Baddeck Marine. That is Angus Miglardi. Third row sees the 141 out of Woodstock, Nova Scotia. Sponsored by Tony Martin Plumbing and Downriver Beverage Company. And Sarah Jane. That is Tony Martin, rider number 141. Middle of the third row sees the 27 out of Lower Sackville. Sponsored by Liberty CC and Plus Racing and KYT. That's Brianna Mosier on 27. Making up the third row is the 12 of Ian Forster. Fourth row sees the 73 of Robert McGinnis and the 53 of Jim Marlowe. Making up the field is 36 Lucas Bowl. And we're racing. All rider in the middle of that third row, that is Brianna Mosier. Not off to a great start there. Looks like she might have stalled it or popped the gear. But she's back up and going. Out of turn two, Ryan Hum in the lead. Followed by Pat Patterson, Mike Kemp in third. In fourth is John McRae. Now out of turn four over the top of 5. Ryan Hum already opening up about 3 seconds down the back straightaway. Back to Pat Patterson, who has Mike Kemp right on his rear wheel. Now into turn 7 comes this 3-rider battle for second, third, and fourth as Ryan Hum is starting to pull away from this field. Mike Kemp up the inside of Pat Patterson, taking over that second place position. Instantly starting to pull away from Pat Patterson like he was shot out of a gun, already a second ahead of Pat Patterson on front straightaway. Brianna Mosher starting to make her way through the field after the little mishap there on the start. Now moving herself up to 9th place. But at the moment, the battle is between 3rd place rider of John McRae and the 295 of Angus McClarty, along with Pat Patterson there. The 3, 4, 5, 6 positions all separated by about a second. Now down the back straightaway, Ian Forster side by side with Angus McClarty, able to take over that 5th place position. Now as they head up towards turn 9, Pat Patterson trying to hold off John McRae, but it's side of John McRae taking over that 4th place position, but John McRae holding hard on the outside, able to hold off that hard charging Ian Forster. Keeping an eye on the lap times out there as Mike Kemp side by side with Ryan Hum across the line. Mike Kemp was a 122.141. So anyone who gets below the 122 mark in this class, as soon as you touch a 121, you are disqualified, as that's the name of the game here for Catch22. Fastest rider below the above the 122 mark. And right now it is Ryan Hum himself across the line, was a 124. It's Mike Kemp 2 seconds faster there that's allowed him to get onto the back wheel there of Ryan Hum up towards turn 9 now. He may elect just to tuck up in behind Ryan Hum for a couple laps and maybe try to do a last lap dash for cash, as now they're heading towards the front straight. It is Ryan Hum. Mike Kemp going a little bit side. He might try an inside move here, but it's Ryan Hum closing the door. Third place rider John McRae down into the 123, so he's still a high 23 as well, so he's still got a couple of seconds in the back pocket. Definitely can name the game what Mike Kemp is doing here. He is sticking right behind Ryan Hum, because he definitely had some pace on Ryan there on that first lap, doing a 122 flat. So he is now tucked up in behind Ryan Hum, and he's going to try to do some last lap heroics. Third place rider John McRae pulling away from Ian Forster. Ian Forster was a second back in lap times from John McRae last lap by. So here's an inside move here. Who's that rider there behind Ian Forster? I'll have to look to see there. Angus McClarty pulling some inside moves on Pat Patterson, but the horsepower down the line allowed Pat Patterson to get back in front of Angus there down the front straightaway. Leaders now coming out of turn 3. Half a bike length separates the two. They were down into the 123s, the two of them last time by. John McRae a little bit faster than the two, but he is back by about 7 seconds. So he's going to have to pull down the hammer, but unfortunately if he goes too fast he's going to be disqualified. So right now it's shaping up to be a battle for third and fourth as Ian Forster looks like he's trying to do some last few lap moves here to get on the back of John McRae, because coming into turn 9, he has really gobbled up that gap now, only down to, I would say, a second. And across the line, there was about 2 seconds between the two. So in this one lap, he's got a second on John McRae. That was a second and a half he has gained in just that one lap. But looking up to the leaders, Mike Kemp able to get around Ryan Humm there in turn 2 now as they come out of 3, and has opened up about 5-6 bike lengths. So we'll see what happens here with Mike Kemp. With clear track here, he may be getting below that 122 mark, but we won't know until he crosses the line. So following this battle for the podium, Ian Forster going quite wide there out of turn 4 has really hurt his drive over the top of 5. John McRae side by side with Ian Forster, able to get back into that third place position, pulling Pat Patterson up with him as well. So 3-rider battle here for second, third, fifth, sorry. Now Ian Forster back on the inside of John McRae into turn 9. Keep an eye on these lap times. Sure enough, Mike Kemp down to the 1. So Kemp has been disqualified. It is now Ryan Humm into the lead. Ian Forster in second and Pat Patterson in third. Last lap flying here in this Nova Drilling Catch22 second race of the weekend. Following this battle now for second, third, and fourth, it's Pat Patterson able to get around the 2 riders there. Coming towards turn 3, he's pulling John McRae with them through turn 4. A couple of bike lengths separate those 2 riders. This is a battle for second and third. Ian Forster a little bit too far back as they're going to pull away from him down the back straightaway with that extra horsepower there of that 600 machinery. So it's going to be a battle here for second between John McRae and Pat Patterson into turn 7. John McRae going on the outside. Had to let off the gas there. Front end chatter happening there on the outside of turn 7. But now here comes the leader, Ryan Humm, onto the front straightaway. Taking the win. Now let's see what happens here with this battle. Onto the front straightaways. Power drive to the front. John McRae went a little too wide there in turn 11, allowing Pat Patterson to pull away. Followed by John McRae in third, Ian Forster in fourth. Pat Patterson and John McRae doing their fastest laps of the race, flirting with that 121 mark down to a 122.3 and a 122.7. But above that 122 mark, so they come home in second and third. Fifth sees Brianna Mosier. Great recovery after the little mishap there on the start. Great to see Brianna pushing herself up into the 5th place position. Sixth sees Angus McClarty, followed by Tony Martin and Robert McGuinness. Crossing the line here in 9th is Jim Marlowe, followed by the 36 of Lucas Bowe.